Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And in the Big Apple, it's 7 p.m. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog Scipio. Joining me, as she does each and every week, God help me, each and every week, the mouth of the South herself, she's back again. Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. She's like part of the furniture. I can't get rid of her. It's like an old shoe that won't go in the trash. How you doing, Amelia?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I love to bust your chops. I really do.
At least I'm a comfortable shoe.
Yeah, exactly. You're like part of the family. I can't get rid of you now. I throw you out and you just keep coming back like a bad relative. Gee whiz. So what do you do today, kid? How was everything at work?
It's doing good. It's just losing a person, of course. It's kind of hard, but we do a little bit extra work, but we got everything done today.
Good. Good for you. Good for you.
How was your day?
Interesting. I was on the phone. Anybody that's God help you if you're in the tech support business. I really feel for you. Mm-hmm. I was on the phone today for almost 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
With tech support from a major IP company, right? Mm-hmm. It took almost 3 hours to reset my username and password.
Oh my goodness.
Everything from they can't find me in their system to the system locked me out to Mr. DeCipio, you already have an active account. I said, well, that's news to me. Can somebody give me my username and password?
Wow.
I've been trying for 3 weeks to get in.
At least they didn't call you Anthony.
They finally found the problem. And it had nothing to do with me. It was all internal stuff.
Wow.
Anyway, but they were very kind about it. They apologized. They got it done. And about 30 seconds before we went on the air,
oh my goodness,
as you know, Amelia, they called me.
Right?
About 30 seconds before I hit that live button. You know, anyway, we are What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. And tonight, just when you thought it got strange, we're going to give you the stranger and the strangest. Because tonight, it's the strange case of Jeffrey Epstein. We are calling tonight's episode the Epstein Epilogues. And if you know what the word epilogue means, then if you know, you know. If you, like they say on TikTok, if you know, you know.
And just part one for today.
So let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. We've talked about Epstein on the show before. This is going to be an adult-oriented show. We had to issue a disclaimer for tonight. Amelia, what do you know from what you've read, from what you've heard, from what the news has broadcast? What do you know about Jeffrey Edward Epstein?
Well, for as far as him bringing people to his island to have a great time, he'll show you a good time. He's brought younger women there, of course, young girls, and a lot of celebrities that will show you a good time, a lot. And not much of how he got his earnings, of course, or how he made his millions, supposedly. But, of course, I'm thinking about maybe some bad dealings, maybe, that he did that. And, of course, his death, supposed death, I'm going to say, because I don't think he's dead. Or if he did die, he died a homicide.
I'm glad that you said that because I'm one of those people. I'm going to show a video tonight that it's a very compelling video because it was recorded with no one's knowledge.
Right.
And if you look at the video, you'll know that it was recorded with no one's knowledge because they don't even know there's a camera on them. I'm going to show you a video tonight that purports to show, allegedly shows Jeffrey Epstein. I believe it's him. For lots of reasons, I believe it's him. We know what he looks like.
Right.
It's pretty compelling if you look at this guy. It really, unless there's a double out there, which some people said might be a double.
Could be.
You're going to see something tonight. I'm going to show you something that nobody saw before. In fact, it was only made public today.
Oh.
So, Jeffrey Epstein, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Play devil's advocate for me.
Okay.
Sexual predator or victim?
Sexual predator.
Interesting. I happen to think he's both. I happen to think he's a sexual predator. I also happen to think he's the victim of very powerful, high-ranking people who had a lot to protect.
Right.
So, and I don't think that he's dead because if you kill him, then everything that you did went out the window.
Correct.
And then you can't make the case for your protection.
Correct.
However, if you keep him alive like I think he is, then you can find out where the bodies are buried.
Absolutely.
Where is his little black book? You're going to hear about his little black book tonight. You're going to hear tonight about who Jeffrey Epstein really was. And surprise, surprise, he was an incredibly talented, very smart guy. His problem, though, Amelia, as I read it, is that he got bored very quickly because he was too fucking smart, basically.
Yes.
We got somebody in our chat. Who's it? Leon. Leon's with me, both.
Yeah.
Leon, why do you think? Tell me your thoughts on this, Leon, because you're a conspiracy kook like we are, and that's what we love about you. That's why we let you in every week. But we love Leon.
Yes, we do.
What are your thoughts on this, Leon? Give me your heads up on Mr. Epstein. So, but I believe that. I believe that he is. If you kill him, the secrets get buried with him.
Right,
the secrets go away. Okay, and a lot of people can't afford. Listen to what I'm saying. A lot of people can't afford for those secrets to, quote, go away because you don't know where they're going to.
Right.
You understand where I'm going with this? But if you keep them alive, like I said, you can find out where the bodies are buried.
And you know how the quote saying, you're worth more dead than alive. Well, in this case, he's worth more alive than dead. But
absolutely, very important. You know what, Amelia? Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Go ahead, talk about that.
Yeah, because I believe, like you said, he's still alive out there somewhere, and he could be in witness protection program, or he could be alive still running his island because people are still going to that island, from I understand.
Well, you just opened up a Pandora's box. Boy, did you open up a Pandora's box. If a man is dead, follow me, folks.
Right.
If a man is dead and he owns a big island like that, and he's got a brother, his only surviving brother, and he gave the island to his brother. I saw the will.
Yes.
It's online. You can see.
Yeah,
it. He gave everything he owned went to his only surviving relative, his brother. Tell me why the brother is not allowed on that island. Tell me why A private island has government security on it. Why is that island being monitored from space?
Yeah.
Tell me that. Did you know that?
No,
That island is being monitored by a satellite in space.
yeah, and then also too, if the
You
brother
can't
owns
make
it,
this stuff up.
no,
And the people think I'm folks. Go on Google, go on Yahoo, any search engine you want. Put and just search this term.
Mhm.
Epstein Island satellite.
Mhm.
That's all you got to do. Everything will come up for you. Leon is back. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Amelia, talk.
And then people are still coming, going to that island, staying for days, and it's the same, pretty much celebrities. And there's also some new people that we will talk about that as later. And then
Absolutely.
also too, and we did some shows before how Epstein also has gone from different lives as well that we've known.
Well, we're going to talk about that right now, as a matter of fact,
Mhm.
because Leon is opening up that door.
Yes.
He did some misdeeds, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. But he knew a lot more and was supposedly killed to be protected. And he was, when we say killed, Leon is doing killed in quotes.
Killed. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Killed to be protected. And in other words, if you're in WITTEC, okay, if you are in WITTEC, which is witness protection,
Right.
okay, if you're in WITTEC, you're officially dead,
Correct.
but you live under an assumed name. Okay. Give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The mafia many, many years ago had a high ranking member of organized crime. His name was Nicholas Caramandi. They called him Nicky the Crow Caramandi.
Mhm.
Okay. He's in witness protection, right?
Correct.
And then he left witness protection. And then he's back in witness protection because he realized he's safer there being dead
Right.
than he is being alive. Now, does everybody know he's in WITTEC? Yes, they all know.
Oh yeah.
But officially, Nicky the Crow Caramandi is dead. He doesn't
Yes.
exist. But he's still alive. You understand where I'm going?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. That was very good observation, Leon. Very, very good observation. I have a thought about this. I want to talk a little bit. We're going to do something tonight a little different. We're not going to go, boy, because Amelia and I, we love a conspiracy, but we could really go down a rabbit hole.
We're gonna dig and dig and dig.
No, we're not going to plunge down the rabbit hole tonight.
No.
I'm going to tell you why. We're going to give our audience tonight, and this is where I feel like a teacher sometimes. We're going to give our audience tonight Epstein, what I'm going to call Epstein 101. You're going to get basic information, stuff about Jeffrey Epstein you may not know, the kind of person he was, the kind of person he was raised to be. We're going to ask questions like simple questions like, who did Epstein work for? Let me ask you that, Amelia. Who did he work for?
It could have been the mafia. It could have been the government. It could have been both.
You just answered the question perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Who did Epstein work for? The answer is we don't know.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this. This man was allegedly killed, and nobody knew who he works for.
No.
Here's another question. What did he do for a living? What did he do for a living?
Could have been financial. Could have been working for, we don't know, basically.
Could have been everything from, as you said, securities exchange, financial, British intelligence, Israeli intelligence. He's been linked to the intelligence department for a lot of different countries, including the U.S.
Yes, because he had a lot of offshore accounts as well, from what I understand.
He had a lot of offshore. Yes, he did too, under many different names too. By the way, Here's the question I have. In addition to the question of what did he do for a living, on whose behalf was he doing it for?
Could have been for himself, or could have been for
It could have been, but I don't. Again, that's why I asked the question, because I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I don't think he was working for himself. I think he was. I think, and I'm just going to put my theory out there. I think Jeffrey Epstein was a political intelligence operative. I think he was heavily linked to Israel because he is, after all, Jewish. He is heavily linked to the intelligence department here. We know that. We know for the simple reason that his name is all over their files.
Yes.
You don't get to be all over their files unless they got their eyeballs on you.
And the Prince of Wales, too. I think something to do with them.
No. The Prince of Wales, Andrew, you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, Andrew's a scumbag. We're going to talk about Andrew. Andrew's is a legit pedophile. We're going to talk about this. Here's the question people have, and we're going to address this. We have to address this tonight. Was Jeffrey Epstein a pedophile legitimately, or was he set up to expose people as pedophiles? Was he actually the good guy? That's what I'm saying. Was he actually the good guy?
50-50. I'm going to go 50-50.
No, you can't go 50-50 on me. You got to go balls to the walls.
Well, the black book and everything that he had, and he had that book, I'm going to say he was working to, he was a good guy to set up.
I think, and that you made the point. I was going to make that point tonight, like just now. Yes. But you made the point. I really believe that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence operative set up to expose certain individuals, particularly in the entertainment business, Hollywood, music, movies, TV, and secondarily to open up the political channels. Right. We already know that people like Bobby Kennedy Jr., who is running for president, knew Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein. Yes. Bill Clinton knew Jeffrey. A lot of people knew Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, they did.
But that doesn't mean that they were all, sexual deviates.
No.
Except we know Bill Clinton is a sexual deviant.
Yes.
Because he got caught with his pants down in the White House.
Yes.
And you can't make that up, folks. No. If you're not old enough to remember, Google it.
Yes.
Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky. She was 22 years old. He was the sitting president of the United States.
Yeah. And also,
Leon says, you're right, Leon. The government is bigger mafia than the government is the mafia. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because, that black book that he had, he could have written something toward it and said, stars mean this, or a plus sign means that, he could have had certain codes of why that person was there at his island. We don't know.
Well, we're going to talk about this. I need some answers here. I'm asking questions. I need some answers.
Right.
So if you guys are out there listening, you want to chat in here. Our chat is open. Leon's in our chat tonight. We love Leon. You can chat with us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We are all over the place. I don't care where you are. If you got a chat somewhere, you can hook us up. Amelia, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Where did his money come from? And where is it now?
Well, they said that the money came from different people, like from businessmen. It came from, like you said, artists. It came from councilmen. It came from different places, or from his organizations that he had, because he did have different organizations under different names, they said. Where is it now? It is still in offshore accounts, from what we understand.
That we believe.
That we believe, yes.
We believe.
We don't know if they've been.
We don't know if those
taken
offshore accounts have been
or still
closed.
right.
We don't know if the money has been confiscated by the government, which
Correct.
is, I believe it has.
Mhm.
I believe the money. I don't believe that there's one penny left. I really don't. I
Right.
think that everybody had their hands out,
Mhm.
and I think Epstein's money is gone.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has it but him.
Mhm.
Because I think he's still alive.
Yes.
That's his money. His money is his currency. Let's put it that way.
Right.
His currency is the fact that he's still alive. So he's going to play ball because he's still alive. Okay. Look what happened to John McAfee. You remember what happened to John McAfee?
I don't remember.
He got killed in Spain
Mm.
while he was in custody, just like Jeffrey Epstein. He died in police custody.
Mm.
Guess what
Yeah.
happened?
Mm.
The cameras conveniently stopped working.
For what? For
When
30
John-
minutes, huh?
When John McAfee was killed.
Wow.
What happened in Jeffrey Epstein's case?
Yeah.
Amelia, guess what happened? The camera stopped working.
Yeah, and the guard happened to be gone for a
Just
few
happened to take
minutes.
a piss break
Yeah.
at that very moment. He had to take a
Yeah.
pee break.
Yeah. And they said that the autopsy, when that came out, supposedly the guy that was Epstein supposedly had a hard fall from a top bunk. You don't have a hard fall from a top bunk.
No.
No.
Well,
and
you're going to see something. You know what? Now is as
Yeah.
good a time as any
yeah.
to take a look at this. We're going to take a look because we really got to take a look at this. I'm going to show.
hmm
I have two fairly long videos on that, but thankfully tonight and tomorrow night is the Jeffrey Epstein epilogues.
hmm
So we're going to do this in two parts. So you're going to see a little bit of each from each video. Let me start with this one, and I want you to listen to this. This is a conversation between Joe Rogan and Penn Jillette. Now, do you know who Penn Jillette is?
Pendula. Isn't he the
Penn and Teller,
yes,
the magician.
Yeah, the magician, yes.
Okay. All right, Amelia, take a look at this.
People that know Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Me too.
There's many people that feel like he was an agent and that he was trying to compromise people. And that's one of the things.
We just said that.
Mm-hmm.
People thought he was an agent trying to compromise people. Now, what would be the benefit, Amelia, of compromising somebody?
Oh, wow. Just getting a lot of information on them.
Information, blackmail,
Blackmail,
extortion. Absolutely. Let's listen.
Things about this whole Lolita Island thing. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts, but that's one of the things about when he got arrested. Was it the prosecutor, whoever it was that cut him a deal, literally was quoted as saying, "I was told he's above my pay grade, and that he was intelligence." That's the quote.
Really? The intelligence thing? No one seems to know how he
got his money.
Yeah.
Well,
We just talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows how he got his money. And nobody still knows how he got his money. There are only a handful of people. When I say a handful, I mean maybe two or three.
Right.
That knew how Epstein got his money. Okay. He had a lot of money. He was worth almost listen to this one. He was worth almost $1 billion. You understand?
Yes.
Watch. Crazy. Crazy.
the $70 million penthouse that he had in Manhattan was given to him.
Right.
Given to him.
Yeah.
Who gives someone a $70 million house?
Well, I was kind of hoping you would to me.
I don't have one.
Okay.
Who is Jeffrey Epstein? Where's his black book?
That's the question of the night, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
The Pitbull Chapman. Who is Jeffrey Epstein? That's the question. Nobody seems to know. He's an enigma, wrapped up in a riddle, tied together in an enigma.
It's like he existed and poof, he's gone.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's see.
Why does the FBI want to cover up his tracks? Here's what we know. Firstly, let's talk about who he is. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born in New York City on January 20th, 1953. He was an American financier and later convicted sex offender. Epstein earned his financial status through his firm that he owned. But he also made money through a more sinister way. Epstein used his island to sex traffic underage girls, and many high-profile citizens would pay him millions of dollars after visiting his island. We can only conclude that they have done awful things during their stay, and it wasn't just to go to a party. Otherwise, that was a very expensive party invoice. Although nothing is confirmed yet, no one is convinced that anyone would pay millions to attend a simple party. On August 10, 2019, Jeffrey was found dead in his jail cell, the cause being deemed suicide. Convenient timing, considering this was the day he was to take a plea deal and release names for a lesser sentence. So where does this leave the Black Book? Well, firstly, let's talk about what it is. The Black Book was a book that Jeffrey kept that logged all the names, phone numbers, and even addresses of the people that visited his island, along with...
Now, who would stand to gain from having that black book?
Oh my gosh, everybody that he blackmailed.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly. But there's one problem, though. Nobody seems to be able to, can locate this black book. They say the FBI says that they have it. I don't believe that.
No, because I was taking
Because I think
notes
the
during
FBI
that.
are a bunch of liars.
Yeah, because I was taking notes during that. What he was saying, like, how did he end up with that house? How did,
Yeah.
all that during that part? It's like, it's like when somebody goes undercover, like something like that. It's not the CIA, it's not FBI, it's another organization, maybe that the government's working with that we don't know about, that maybe he could have
Right.
been working for, that maybe loans you that house and loans you certain things and makes you want to, you have to go in that kind of deep in order to fit in with those kind of people if you are working for this type of government that we don't know about, these letters that we don't know that exist. It could be something like that too.
Yeah.
We don't know that could have been. Because I was
It's
taking notes about
entirely
that.
possible.
Mhm.
It's entirely possible that scenario may have played out many times.
Mhm.
And then again, it's entirely possible that none of that happened.
Correct. So we
My
don't know.
belief is that all of it happened.
Mhm.
Because I think that and this is one reason that when I said at the beginning of the show that I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole, because this thing can take you a lot of places that you don't want to go.
Right.
We're just going to stick to
Right.
basic education of the Epstein case, because there's a lot here.
Yeah.
We are going to go over tonight, as you and I discussed previously. We are going to go over some of the new evidence, and that's why we renamed the show the Epstein Epilogues. What is an epilogue? It's what happens after. That's the epilogue, what happens after. And that's a perfect example of tonight.
Right.
What happens? Okay, Epstein is allegedly gone, but his case is not over.
No.
Think about this. He's got a surviving brother that's still alive that wants answers. What happened to my brother?
Right.
You're going to hear some information that you never heard before from Michael Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother. But let's take a look at this.
Kept the book secret is about to be exposed. Now you know who Jeffrey Epstein is. Or do you? There's
He's probably back somewhere doing the same very things he did before. The people behind.
Amelia, this is one of our favorite things to do.
Right.
Okay. What are you looking at there?
Let's see, two pictures. One is Epstein, and the other one supposedly is Epstein alive. The other one's dead, but there's very unsimilarities in those two pictures.
Then there are two different people, is what you want
Yeah.
to say.
Yes.
They're more than unsimilar. They're two different people.
There's two different people. I mean, not just the nose. The eyebrows are different. The ears different, and the eyes are different.
The
Everything's
eyelids,
different.
the eyebrows,
Everything.
the ears. There are certain things that you can't change.
Right.
You cannot change your fingerprints.
No.
You cannot change your forehead structure. I don't know whether you know that or not.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Mm-mm.
The other thing you cannot change is your ears.
Correct.
I don't care how you slice it or dice it. I don't care how much plastic surgery you get. You're not going to change the basic fundamental shape of your ears.
No.
That don't happen.
No.
Now, if your ears stick out like this, yes, you can get them nip and tucked a little, what they call pinched back.
Right.
That's fine, but you're not going to change
the shape of it.
Here. You're just not going to do it.
No.
Okay. This is what we're talking about. I don't believe for one moment. I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that death picture of Epstein was purposely taken and shown to the public to let them know that's not him.
Correct.
I think they were showing you it's not him. That's what I believe. Jeffrey Epstein had a perfectly straight nose, and you're going to see it on video tonight. Right after we do this commercial. I just walked right past my commercial break. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll be right back after this. This is what happens when you get, a crazy Mexican from Florida and a goofy Italian from Jersey together.
Caught up in the moment.
Yeah, right? There you go.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So, she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got a ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
and become your own boss,
build it on Shopify.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we.
You're gonna die.
Ayun na, pre. Kaya siguro lagi nakatingin. Kasi yun na lamang ang magagawa. Inaabangan ako na mawala. Kaso lang ang malala. Nadapa, kakatingala.
Game? Sa kapunta to the moon. Road trip. Vroom vroom. Skr skr. Zoom zoom.
No time, better up, I can help. Let's not let me get ahead of myself. Put your ball mouth, tell me you don't wanna get shoved. Why so silly, get the lotto intel. Why still with me, I'm bothered. Oh my.
We are back on What's the Buzz, America's Best Popcast. dissecting the strange case of Jeffrey Epstein, and in this case, literally dissecting it. I am the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio, along with the Pitbull, Amelia Chapman, from the great state of Florida, by way of Tijuana, Mexico. Now, you're from El Paso, or no, Odessa.
No, Odessa,
Texas.
Yes.
I was close. I said Mexico. They're right next to each other.
Oh, yeah. I visited there once, but
They're right there. You got your green card? No.
I think so. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. But this is a strange case of Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, we've done this before. We did this when Epstein died.
Yes.
I say died very. I say it loosely, folks, because we don't believe.
Kind of, yeah.
Neither one of us believe that he actually died.
No.
Somebody died
Mm-hmm.
in that jail cell. It was not Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
If you look at the so-called death photo of Epstein, everything's wrong, including the eyes, the eyebrows, the forehead, the nose, the cheek, the ears, the lip. Everything's different.
Yes.
There's nothing there that not even close to matching up.
No.
And you'll notice that on the death photo, you'll notice a very large bruise on the cheek of the so-called, Epstein. I'm going to say Epstein lookalike.
Yes.
Because let's be honest about it, Jeffrey Epstein looked like a lot of other people.
Yes, he did.
I want to show you a picture. I'm going to show you tomorrow night a video of a guy that looks just like Jeffrey Epstein in a bar in Florida. Okay? He looks just like him. And in fact, the girl came up with her camera and she says, "We found Jeffrey Epstein in a bar." And he turns around and the guy looks just like him. It was scary how much he looked like him. But this doesn't come close to looking like it. If you take that photo and you flip it on its side, there's two different people there.
Two different people, yeah.
So let's take a look here.
Behind them are very powerful and they do what they do.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. He was strangled. So you don't want to live in a country where it's...
No, he was not strangled. They walked in a fake body, fake dead body. Look at the ear print and the nose print. They don't change when you die.
No.
So what they did is...
I just said that.
You just said that, yes.
I just said that. They walked him out the front door. That's what they did. They walked him right out the front door. A lot of people, you want to talk about crazy conspiracy? Here's one for you. Bet you didn't hear this one. A lot of people think Jeffrey Epstein was one of those firefighters taking the Epstein out of the jail.
Yeah, they dressed him up in a firefighter outfit.
Dressed him up and took him right out. You heard that one yet?
No, I would have imagined, because that's the only way they would have taken him out without being recognized.
Exactly. Dress him up as a fireman or put a cop uniform on him.
Yes.
Who's going to question it? Nobody.
They walked him out the front door. He's probably back somewhere doing the same very things he did before. The people behind him are very powerful and they do what they do.
Now, you heard that.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. This guy says, the people that are with him are very powerful and they do what they do. Well, what do? They manipulate things. They make things work for them. How do they do it? Very simple. The oldest trick in the world. It's called money.
Yes.
That's how they do it. So, Tucker Carlson. I want you to look at this picture, video. This is Jeffrey Epstein. Look at his nose,
Mm-hmm.
both top and bottom. Now, keep in mind, this video is about 20 years old. This is how long they've known about him. Longer than probably the last 30 years they've known about this guy. Okay?
Yes.
I think they've known about him because they're the ones that set him up. I think he was placed where he was. But look who he's with. He's with Donald Trump. He's clearly in a big setting. But look at the nose and look at the ears. That's not the guy that we just saw.
No.
Okay? It's not the same guy. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Just not the same guy.
No, it's not. It's not the same one.
I want to set this up first
Mm-hmm.
before we go and too much further. What you're looking at, and those of you on radio who cannot see this, I encourage you at some point to jump over to our YouTube channel at What's the Buzz Popcast on YouTube and take a look at this video because you're looking at artwork that was seized, and I'm going to say that word again. It was seized from Jeffrey Epstein's $70 million. You heard that right. $70 million Manhattan townhouse. Okay. This was artwork that was in that apartment, that house. Okay. They took this artwork, but you're going to see, I think, why they took it. Watch. Take a look at this. And Amelia, when I finish, tell me what you noticed.
Mr. Epstein, how long have you been?
What'd you notice there?
It had pictures of young girls, and then of course Bill Clinton in a dress.
Yep, and that is actually Bill Clinton in a dress. That was not photoshopped.
No.
And what was the next picture you saw?
It was it a president or
George Bush?
That's what it was, George Bush.
Sitting on the floor playing tiddlywinks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what tiddlywinks are? They're jacks.
Yes.
The little ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's tiddlywinks.
And sexually attracted to underage minor females.
Objection, harassing, argumentative.
Are you kidding? No, I mean, I don't feel like I'm divulging any secrets here, right?
Move to strike.
Mr. Epstein, were you sexually abused as a minor? Again? Were you sexually abused as a minor?
Read the body language here, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
The prosecutor asked him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was right. The prosecutor asked him during this deposition, Mr. Epstein, were you sexually abused as a minor? And he plays like he doesn't hear him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But then look at his body language because he's clearly trying to hide something.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just got our first insight into who Jeffrey Epstein is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a nerdy kid. I think he might have been a little bit overprotected by his parents.
Mm-hmm.
He probably didn't have a lot of friends. He's the kind of guy that would have been perfect to be an intelligence officer.
Yes.
He was fucking custom made for that gig. Okay? But I want you to watch him. Look at his face. Look at his hands, his nose, his ears. And then, again, go back to what you saw. And tell me if anything like that looks like, or even resembles close to what you saw. Because I don't think it does. Let's watch.
You know, I'd like to respond to all your, if any, questions seem to be relevant, but I would like to respond to any relevant question at this time. However, my attorneys have counseled me that I cannot provide answers to the questions relevant to this lawsuit today.
Los secretos más oscuros en Hollywood.
Now, Amelia, I am relying upon you for this next section because much of this is in Spanish.
Okay.
And I obviously do not understand Spanish, but we have a large Spanish speaking audience. So I would like you to kind of pay attention to this. And at the end of this clip, can you give me an idea of what they were saying?
Sure.
Okay. So for our Spanish speaking audience, here you go.
Los secretos más oscuros en Hollywood acaba de ser revelado. Documentos con más de 900 páginas revelan nombres de celebridades que asistieron a la perturbadora isla de Jeffrey Epstein.
Empieza a desvelarse la lista en la que nadie quiere estar.
La revelación de la lista de 187 personas.
En el video especial del día de hoy vamos a ver qué está sucediendo en las redes sociales. ¿Por qué el nombre de Epstein vuelve a ser tendencia?
¿Quién es Jeffrey Epstein? Revelan lista oficial de clientes de la isla Epstein.
¿Qué está sucediendo con Oprah, Stephen Hopkins? ¿Por qué le están pidiendo disculpas a Michael Jackson? Y cosas bastante siniestras que la élite estaba ocultando.
Pero él siempre decía, me van a matar. Y yo le decía, ¿quién? Michael, ¿quién te va a matar?
Top famosos que aparecieron en la lista de Jeffrey Epstein.
En esos documentos aparecen 150 nombres.
Los principales medios de comunicación han encabezado sus titulares con el nombre de Jeffrey Epstein.
This Russian model.
Basically, we were talking about the list of Jeffrey Epstein and the dark secrets that the list would hold. All these names of the list that came out.
Okay. What other pertinent information came out of that particular clip?
Just the list of, they were talking in Spanish. They were revealing the dark list of the people that attended his that island.
Okay.
Basically, why was Michael Jackson? Why was Oprah? And it was his sister saying, Michael, why were you on that list? That's all that was.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So let's take a look at the rest of this.
And Michael Jackson are on there. And there are even more, but two people are still appealing being named. One is referred to as Doe 110. All we know is it's someone whose name and association with Epstein has been widely publicized by the media. Then there's another, Doe 107, who is a woman who's arguing she faces a risk of physical harm in her country of residence. She's been asked to provide more information to the judge. Two people are still trying to keep their names hidden from Jeffrey Epstein's list. But we do have some information about them. So you've probably seen that more than 150 people have been named as associates of Epstein. Bear in mind, it doesn't automatically mean they've done anything wrong, but the likes of Stephen Hawking and Michael Jackson are on there. And there are even more to come, but two people are still appealing being named. One is referred to as Doe 110. All we know is it's someone whose name and association with Epstein has been widely publicized by the media. Then there's another, Doe 107, who is a woman who's arguing she faces a risk of physical harm in her country of residence. She's been asked to provide more information to the judge.
Jeffrey Epstein list.
Okay, let's try. I want you to know that I purposely played that twice because I want to see if anybody catches what I heard. That's why I played it twice.
Yeah.
You'll notice that the people on the Epstein list, they've decided to give them numbers. They go from 1 to into the thousands.
Yes.
In other words, the closer you are to 1, 100, 200, the more important you were. When you get into the thousands, if your number is in the thousands, then you weren't that big a deal.
No.
Okay. But we heard something there that we never heard before. Do you know what it is? What I'm getting at?
That some of the people there were not just maybe to be there for entertainment. They were there just to probably be on there to see him for other things, not just.
No, not only that, but you heard the woman say, the newscaster said that a woman came forward and she faces retribution in her own country.
Yes.
for being on the Epstein list. Now, she may have been there simple, innocent, but then again, she may have been there as a sexual predator.
You never know. Yeah.
You know, it's not always men
Mm-mm.
that like younger. There are women out there,
Right.
who are into this, who like young girls and young boys.
Right.
Epstein had both of them
Mm-hmm.
on his. You're going to see something tonight you've never seen before.
Right.
This piece of information came to me today. Let's take a look.
Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Professor Stephen Hawking, and David Copperfield are amongst the high-profile figures who have been named in the newly released U.S. court documents identifying associates of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, which were made public last night. The list of names is part of a settled lawsuit filed by Jeffrey Epstein victim Virginia Jffrey against sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. The case was settled in 2017, but Jeffrey, and many others, have long called for the names to become public. The bombshell Jeffrey Epstein list has been revealed. Bill Clinton.
Okay. You're going to see this one again twice. You saw something in the first clip. Did you notice it?
The one with Copperfield and
the one with Bill Clinton getting the back rub from a young.
from the little girl. Yeah, from that young girl. She looked like she was
Prince
10 or
Andrew.
12.
This guy snuck onto Jeffrey Epstein's island. Watch this.
That's me running towards the satanic temple of the evil billionaire Jeffrey Epstein on his private island swarming with security.
Oh my god, we're getting detected.
Shoot me if you dare! What are you hiding, Epstein? First, I rented a jet ski and surveyed the island, noticing security guards all over the place.
No trespassing.
After scouting a less guarded area, I jumped into the water and swam ashore.
I'm on the island. I'll show you the temple.
After inching my way up the side of the cliff, I finally made it to the temple undetected.
Come on, Tyler. Everything's boarded off. The entire place looks to be repainted. It used to be blue and yellow. A ladder right here, almost as if they just repainted the place. It is literally pure white now. Someone took a dump right there. This is the place where evil things went down. In this temple right here, there used to be a giant sun compass that was removed, apparently. We've gotten up here successfully, undetected. It seems to be low-level security right now.
As I made my way down the temple, I turned around and saw this.
Oh my god. I'm running.
We hear a lot about what Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, you're on an island that was owned by a supposedly dead guy. Okay. There's government jeeps chasing you down. Again, it's supposed to be a private island.
Supposed to be.
What is government security doing on a private island?
Yeah.
That they don't own.
And that's supposed to be nobody's supposed to be there, really.
Pretty much, yeah. Nobody's supposed to be there.
What are they guarding in those four walls?
Who's here?
Hey.
Moonchild. Oh, man, I miss you, Moonchild. Where the hell have you been? Holy
It's been a while.
Wow. We are having a great year. You too, my dear. You too. We have missed you. I missed you a lot. So let me tell you, Moonchild has some incredibly articulate questions.
Oh, yes, she has.
Amazing young lady. And she gets ready for work about this time. Because she's crazy. She works the night shift like we do.
Right.
But let's talk about this.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this. The case of Jeffrey Epstein. What did we see here?
Yeah.
We saw Bill Clinton 3 or 4 times already.
Yes.
So he's up to his ass in this thing. We saw entertainers, politicians, everyday people. They all have one thing in common. They're very rich.
Yes.
And rich people can get what they want.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And also, too, it's like you said, why are they still up there guarding it? Is it because they don't want anybody vandalizing that? Why are they protecting that? Why don't they want that vandalized? Or
no, they're protecting the secrets hidden on that island.
Yeah, because people are still going to this island to this day. Yeah.
Absolutely, they are. The airplanes fly back and forth. You know that island's got its own runway.
Oh, yes.
You believe it? And it's got its own helicopter port. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Let's take a look.
But who was he? Let's take a look at his past. Jeffrey Epstein was born on January 20th, 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. He came from a working-class family. His father worked for the New York City Parks and Recreation Department, and his mom was a stay-at-home mom. And everybody who knew Jeffrey Epstein when he was younger only has good things to say about him. They said he was a sweet guy, he was quiet and nerdy, and he even was given the nickname Epi as a child. Jeffrey also started playing the piano at the age of 5, and he was regarded as being a very talented musician. He eventually graduated high school in 1969 and then went on to university, but he never finished his degree. Now this is where it gets interesting. So in the year 1974, Jeffrey Epstein starts teaching physics and mathematics at a local school. The headmaster of the school was known for hiring random people, and it's unclear how Jeffrey Epstein got hired, but he wasn't qualified to be teaching there. And according to former students who...
That would be my first question.
Yes.
You're going to hire a guy that's clearly not credentialed to teach in a school?
Exactly.
Where does that play?
You have to have a teaching degree to teach.
You
at
have
a
to have
school.
a teaching certification.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't care where you are.
Mm-mm.
It's crazy. You just, okay, well, you want to be a teacher? Okay, we'll hire you.
And that's where you want to meet young girls or boys.
Now you're getting to it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
The teacher, he paid extremely close attention to the young female students. Obviously, all these girls were minors at the time that he was teaching, since this was high school, but he was also known to show up at parties where minors were drinking and hang out with them. But eventually, through his teaching job, Jeffrey Epstein was introduced to this man, Alan Greenberg. Alan Greenberg was the CEO of the investment bank Bear Stearns, and his son and daughter attended the school that Jeffrey Epstein was teaching at.
We should also point out that Alan Greenberg is a devout Satanist. That's no secret. That's public record. And he does not hide it. You got, like him or not, he doesn't hide it.
Mm-mm.
He's a Satanist. That's his religion. Let's continue.
And eventually, once it was found out that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't qualified for the job and his performance was poor, he was fired, and he then was recruited by Alan to join Bear Stearns. Now, this is where Jeffrey Epstein...
Okay, so let me get this right. So you know where I'm going with this, Amelia?
Mm-hmm.
So let me get this right, Moonchild. So I'm not qualified to be a teacher, and I get fired for unprofessional conduct. So you're going to hire me to work at an investment firm where I'm dealing with millions of dollars of other people's money. Okay, where do I sign up for a gig like that?
Right.
Somebody needs to tell me what I'm doing. I'm fucking doing something wrong. I gotta be I must be like way off the I'm like way off the boat here.
Well,
somebody's like needs to show me like how to get like an Epstein gig.
unless you say you're a Satanist and you're really not, maybe.
This is true, Moonchild. It was the Brian Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Was the manager of the Beatles, Brian Epstein. No, there's been, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, Moonchild. There is no relation, there's no biological relation between Brian Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein. They same name, different pronunciation, but essentially the same. Brian Epstein,
Mm-hmm.
you can say it however you want. Whether you want to, Americanize it or not, it's still Epstein. So here we are, continuing to find out that he was a lousy teacher. He got fired, but he got hired at an investment firm. Remarkable.
Moves into the financial world and starts making a lot of money. He eventually worked his way up the ladder at Bear Stearns, but was eventually let go because of a violation with his work. He then founded his own investment company, and this is where things get really strange. Jeffrey told friends at the time that he oftentimes worked for governments to help them recover embezzled funds, and he would also work for people who had embezzled funds.
Now,
wow.
Okay. So clearly he has a gift for finances because he was a lousy teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but he was, at least for a little while, he managed to teach, science and whatever else, math. So he was good with numbers. All right.
Well, or get a good for embezzlement, a gift for embezzlement.
Well, yeah, but helping people that have embezzled money,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
That's
how
what
you can help somebody that's embezzled money unless you're going to teach them how to embezzle
exactly.
money. That might have been his real gift.
That's yeah.
Let's take a look at the rest of this clip. This is an interesting guy.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, this is what you're hearing, folks, is just on the surface. Pitbull and myself haven't even attempted to go down the rabbit hole.
No.
Not yet. And we won't.
He also told some of his friends at the time that he worked as an intelligence agent. One fact that could point out that this might have been true is that Jeffrey Epstein had possession of an Australian passport with his photo on it but a different name. His place of residence was also listed as being Saudi Arabia. This relates back to one of the later cases in Jeffrey Epstein's life when a U.S. district attorney stated that they were initially told to leave Jeffrey Epstein's case alone because he was considered to be a part of intelligence. There are a lot of connections that do point to Jeffrey Epstein possibly being some sort of intelligence agent, but if you want me to cover some of those, I can make a whole different TikTok.
Now, I want you to forget about what's said. Just watch Bill Clinton's face. Watch how that man's eyes come to life. Watch this.
Any comment on the allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
Look at that.
Oh.
They say to him, do you have any comment? Do you have any comment, Mr. President, about the Jeffrey Epstein case? Right? Your connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Look at that sinister, smirky grin. He's like, oh, yeah, motherfucker, I fucked me a 14-year-old.
That little smirky little look, like, ha ha, if you only knew, kind of.
If you only fucking knew. We do know, Bill. You jerk off.
Bombshell Jeffrey Epstein documents claim that Bill Clinton likes them young. The former president was discussed by Epstein and his alleged victim one time when she was recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell to perform sexual acts on him. Johanna Schoberg, who was contacted at the age of 20 to work as a massage therapist for Epstein, had no massage training and was picked up by Maxwell on a college campus. Clinton has long sought to play down his association with Epstein and insisted his connections were on a professional basis. But the documents claim Clinton was a key person and is mentioned 50 times in the almost 950 pages.
How many times? 50?
50.
Okay.
Evidence. A spokesperson for Clinton told CNN.
What does that look like to you?
He's giving her. He's getting a back massage. Back rub.
That's Bill
shoulder rub.
Clinton?
It starting it anyway.
With a girl, maybe
12, 14.
Nah, maybe like 17, 18.
Yeah.
She looks, she looks like maybe about 17. But she's clearly very young.
Very, very young.
Giving the former president of the United States, I'm sure, more than a cordial back rub.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure it didn't stop at the back.
No.
That he knew nothing of Epstein's terrible crimes during their friendship, adding that it has been nearly 20 years since Clinton last had contact with Epstein. Bombshell
to inspection, right? The Island Boys, is that how they got the...
Okay. What do you know about this rap group called the Island Boys?
I've never heard of them.
Okay, well, they're very big. I actually saw some of their it is creepy, Moonchild. It is creepy. Bill Clinton's a fucking creep anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I met him when he ran for president. Yeah, and he gave me the creeps then.
Mm.
The thing though is, I digress, is that the Island Boys are rappers, and this is the Island Boys.
Wow, very young.
You see what they were circled, the little circles around their faces?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here's the theory. They either were from the island, brought to the island, or gained fame on the island. You're going to hear theories of what happened and to whom and all this stuff. The only thing I can tell you for sure is the Island Boys today, they will tell you they believe Jeffrey Epstein's alive. That's what they believe. So, listen to this. Let me pull it back. Here you go.
Terrible crimes during their friendship, adding that it has been nearly 20 years since Clinton last had contact with Epstein. Bombshell.
Just listen to it.
The Island Boys. Is that how they got their name? They were originally the boys from Epstein's Island? Is that perhaps what's being signified to us here?
The Epstein Island Boys. The Island Boys probably were molested, and then there was some sort of hush money incorporated into them, and that's how they were able to fund their beginning into famehood.
Interesting. So you think their rap career was funded by being molested? That's not your classic 50 Cent introduction to the rap game. Usually you sell drugs on the street, but this is a new approach.
Island Boys have a picture with Jeffrey Epstein way back in the day. What happened with the Island Boys and Jeffrey Epstein? That is a big question.
It's a very big question. One that we are going to continue to answer on tomorrow night's show. But there's so much more to cover. So much more to cover. Moonchild, I'm happy to see you back with us. I hope you'll be joining us more often. Leon, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate that. Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, what's coming up, kid? Tell everybody what's coming up.
Of course, we've got part 2 tomorrow for the show. And then Wednesday night, we have the wrestling show. And you said that we're going to be doing a special episode.
Rise and fall of the WWE. Vince McMahon. We're going to be talking about the embattled, embittered, embroiled former chairman of World Wrestling Entertainment, formerly known as the World Wrestling Federation. What happened to Vince McMahon? Where did it all go wrong?
Or what hasn't happened?
Is he of sane mind? That's the question people are answering. I mean, people are asking, is Vince McMahon of sane mind? A lot of people think he's just kind of like out there, including members of his own family, quite frankly.
Or he's portraying that he's not, so he doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, well, no, Moonchild called the shot. She said Vince is in deep poo. He's up to his eyeballs in shit, Moonchild. I got news for you, man.
Yes.
I want you to watch that show Wednesday with me. It's going to be a good one.
Yes. And then February
Take it to work with you.
Right?
Listen on your headset.
And then we have February 5th, we have Hall of Famer Lacey J. Dalton rejoining us as well.
Country Music Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Lacey J. Dalton.
Yes.
February 5th. February 6th. Television writer, producer, director, and sometimes actor. Mark Sotkin, the guy that brought us Golden Girls, wrote for Laverne and Shirley. It's a Living.
Yes.
Sinbad.
And
a bunch of movies and all kinds of stuff. He's one of our favorite people. He'll be back here.
Yes.
We will have Ronnie Marmo back. I heard from Ronnie's people today.
Fantastic.
We're just working out the date, but Ronnie will do the show again with us. Trying to remember who else is coming back.
Glenn Martin on February 12th.
Glenn Martin will be here, and I believe we also have, I'll tell you right now, I think I booked somebody and I forgot to tell you. Wouldn't that be a surprise, Amelia?
No, good thing I have a erasable pen.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to do, I believe we're going to do I hope this is the same guy. Oh, yes. The 26th of February. I know it's a little far out there, but we've got Jesse Hutchins.
Yes.
We've got Brian Saponis and Mark Cantu. They have all done a film together that Amelia and I are excited about. We want to bring it to you. And it's called Grind. It's a grindhouse film. If you don't know what grindhouse is, it's a simple concept to think about, like Pulp Fiction, anything that Quentin Tarantino has done. He's the king of grind. So this is kind of you have to understand what the grind is, what grindhouse is.
Yes.
If you understand that, you'll love the movie. They are in production, so that's what we know. But what else you got? What else is coming up?
And then also Todd Lautenberg and
Todd and his wife Jolana Opava will be here
on the 19th.
They are filmmakers and comedians, and from the great state of Florida. In fact, not too terribly far from where you are, Amelia.
Good.
And yeah, maybe we'll get a live interview with them.
That'd be fantastic. And then the 20th, we're going to be doing a show called Life After Death.
It's going to be an interesting show. You're going to have a gentleman joining us, right?
Yes, and maybe Pastor Steve as well.
Pastor Steve will definitely be here. Yeah, he'll be back for sure. And I think tomorrow night we're going to dig deeper down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, but not too deep, because if not, we have a lot more show.
Yeah, well, I could do, between the Epstein case and the Kennedy assassination, I could do a whole year just on Kennedy and Epstein.
Yeah. Because there's so much on Epstein that we could do.
Oh,
what if this happened? What about that? What about this? That? Because there's so many things that we could, say.
I haven't even gotten to my questions yet either.
No.
Here you go. We'll ponder these for tomorrow. What really happened to Jeffrey Epstein on August 10th, 2019? It was found dead in the most secure federal facility in the world, the New York Federal Detention Holding Center. Was it suicide, or was he murdered, or did he walk out the front door?
Right.
Evidence strongly suggests that he is still alive. Forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Bodden suggested strongly that he did not die from a suicidal hanging as was suspected.
Correct.
We will unravel the truth. Dr. Bodden doesn't even think it's Epstein's body.
No.
He thinks it's a different guy.
But the autopsy that they did on that person shows different too.
Well, it's a different autopsy. It's a whole different guy.
Yeah, because they had to present an autopsy to the court and everything
Well,
like
you
that.
have to, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it has to be his. You just have to present one.
Yeah, and they had to put the name on it.
When you work with the courts every day, like these people do, you're all friends. You're bullshitting. You're hanging out.
They play golf together, and then they're gonna say, "I have this client coming," and
all right, we're gonna sweep this one under the rug.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's man, it's a lot there. There really is a lot there.
Very much. A lot of unanswered questions that I don't think we'll know the answers.
Tell everybody tomorrow night. But until tomorrow night at 7 on What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast, I am the Mad Dog, speaking for Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Be good.